Do you believe in ghosts? Well, I'm not sure if I do or I don't because I have never seen one. But what I can tell you is that I have seen this painting before. It was pretty strict, which was probably why they had a nun stationed outside of every classroom to keep us kids in check. Sister Mary stood guard just outside the door, patiently waiting for any kid who was being a little shit to come run out into the hallway so she could whoop our asses with her ruler. So yeah, we were all pretty scared of her, but also loved her. She was cool like that. It was built way before my time, and a lot of famous people had come through those doors, but I didn't know anyone had died there. Like no one was ever harmed. Sure, a book smacked this kid in the head once and left a bruise, but mostly it was just annoying. One day we came into class, and the painting was taken down and replaced with a new one. I couldn't see what was happening in there, but I could hear Miss Hill screaming. "What the hell?" I said. That was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen. Sister Mary took a deep breath. "All right, everyone," she said. "Line up and get out of here." The walls were repainted a bright yellow, and the charred remains of the art room were boarded up. See, there was an old yearbook in my classroom, so I took it home and looked her up. Anyway, thank you for listening to my story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment. Also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all next time for another scary story. Bye. According to the inscription on her page, Eliza died during the Spanish flu pandemic back in 1918. She was only 14 years old. Reading about her story made me kind of sad. It's amazing to think that she could have been walking around the same hallways that I was, but that was almost 100 years ago. I wonder if she ever finished 5th grade. I hope she did. And as for the paintings, they were both back on the walls, looking as good as new. I guess the fire hadn't damaged them. Still, though, it was kind of weird seeing that girl again, after thinking she'd been burned to death. I sat down at my desk and got to work. I could feel her eyes boring into me. So I started talking to her. So I said, "Do you want a cookie?" I asked her, 'cause I think I have one in my bag. I reached into my backpack and pulled out a cookie, but there was no reply. I shrugged and ate the cookie myself. Maybe she didn't like cookies. So I tried again. "Hey," I said, "want to play tag?" Again, no response. I kept trying to talk to her and even made a paper airplane and threw it at her, but she never said a word. I don't know if that was good or bad. I mean, it's not like I was talking to a real person or anything, so I was kind of winging it. No. We filed out of the classroom and made our way towards the exit. As we walked past the art room, I saw a mop bucket filled with what looked like gasoline. The art teacher must have been smoking in there and accidentally set his mop bucket on fire. Thankfully, Sister Mary was able to put it out before it spread. Then I heard her come running down the hallway towards us, her eyes wide and panicked. "Everyone stay in your seats," she said, breathless. "Stay in your seats and don't move." All of us looked at her confused, but we did as she said. Soon, Sister Mary came running down the hall too. "Quick," Miss Hill said to her. "Get the fire extinguisher." Before any of us knew what was happening, the room was filling with smoke. Coughing and spluttering, we all watched as black smoke poured out from under the door. It was coming from the art room. I saw Sister Mary grab the fire extinguisher from the cart outside and charge into the art room. Miss Hill stayed behind to get us kids under control. This one was of a boy this time. They said he was an explorer who discovered parts of South America. None of us knew who he was, but we liked the painting anyway. I didn't notice at first, but the new painting was gone too. The nail marks were still there on the wall, but the painting was nowhere to be found. It must have caught fire. As we gathered outside, Miss Hill came over to me and knelt down. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "What happens to the art teacher?" Miss Hill sighed. "He got suspended." He shouldn't have been smoking in there. What are you going to do? I don't know yet, she said, but I'll figure something out. After that, things settled down. No more footsteps, no more moving books or desks, nothing. I thought Eliza had finally given up on us. Plus, the shaking desks thing only happened to me. So maybe it was just my imagination. Still, I wanted to get out of there. I started telling Miss Hill about everything that was going on, but she just smiled and continued reading. It was frustrating. I mean, I was sitting in class one day, and my desk started shaking violently. I was like, Miss Hill, look, but she was too busy talking about fractions. My name is Name, and this is my spooky story for Morbidology. Let's get into it. So like I said, I went to a private Catholic school. Back then, each of our classrooms had a theme. The walls would be painted a certain color and decorated to match. And the older students got their own classrooms as they got older. The other kids didn't seem to notice her at first, but I must have been staring at her for a while, because Miss Hill asked me about it. What are you looking at? She asked me. There, I said, pointing at the painting. One day, though, something new came to the classroom. A girl appeared on the wall. She wasn't a mural or anything like that. She was a painting. Yeah, I know it sounds silly now, but back then I was terrified. I knew that school was old. Now, none of this was actually that bad. Then one day, the girl in the painting was gone. A few weeks later, though, I heard some commotion coming from the art room next to ours. When the smoke cleared, Sister Mary came back out holding a flaming basketball. As we were leaving the building, I looked back at the classroom. Well, we all went home that day. And the next day, we came back to a brand new classroom. Now, I don't remember if I told you this, but I did eventually find out who Eliza was. Yeah, I know it's silly, but I still wonder sometimes.